Genghis Khan and his family and what they did. Dude, they killed 10% of the population of Earth while he was alive. They killed so many people that they affected the carbon footprint of human beings on Earth.
Brace yourself for a discovery that could change history forever. Scientists believe they have finally uncovered the long-lost tomb of the legendary Genghis Khan.
It's clearly a tomb, but it's too old to be Genghis Khan's. It's Bronze Age. It's more than 3,000 years old.
A secret hidden for centuries. Joe Rogan, host of the Joe Rogan Experience, recently dived into this mind-blowing find, revealing eerie artifacts buried within the tomb. Where was it found? And what shocking treasures lay inside? Let's uncover how researchers finally cracked open a mystery sealed for thousands of years. The warrior who changed the world.
The great Mongol conqueror Genghis Khan carved the biggest land empire in history.
Genghis Khan was one of the most famous leaders in history, known for uniting the Mongol tribes and building an empire that stretched farther than almost any before it. Born in the 12th century, he grew up in a harsh land where strength and skill were needed to survive. Over time, his courage and smart ways led him to unite many different tribes under one rule, and by 1206 CE, he had become the ruler of what would later be called the Mongol Empire.
Emperor of Mongolia. I will be emperor of the world.
Genghis Khan's rise to power was not just about fighting and battles. It was also about change. He took old ways and turned them into new rules that would help his people live better and work together. For example, he made strict rules to protect the rights of his own people. He declared that kidnapping women was not allowed and made it clear that no one could enslave a Mongol. If someone stole livestock, they faced the harshest punishment, a death sentence. These rules were meant to create order among the Mongols and make sure that everyone was treated fairly. But Genghis Khan did not stop at making rules for his own people. He also brought big changes to the way his empire was run. He introduced a writing system, which was a huge step forward for the Mongols. This allowed people to keep records, share ideas, and pass on important information to future generations. Another important change was his decision to end inherited titles. Instead of letting power be passed down just because you were born into a family, he promoted people based on their skills and hard work. This idea of merit-based promotion helped create a strong, loyal group of leaders who were chosen for what they could do, not just for who their parents were. Under Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire grew to be the largest contiguous empire the world has ever seen. At its peak, the empire stretched from the Caspian Sea in the west to the China Sea in the east. It also covered vast lands between Siberia and central China. To give an idea of its size, the territory was roughly as big as the entire African continent. In all, Genghis Khan's conquests brought him an estimated 11 to 12 million square miles of land. This vast empire was not built by chance. It was the result of clever military strategies and a deep understanding of both the art of war and the needs of his people. One of Genghis Khan's most famous achievements was his success in battle. He was a brilliant military leader who knew how to use the strengths of his soldiers.
They had a lot of things going for them. They had strategy, first of all. They had devious, wild strategy.
His army was known for its skilled horsemen and expert archers who could move quickly and strike hard. One key battle that showed his genius was the Battle of Jaxartes in 1219. In this battle, his forces defeated the Khwarezm Empire using smart tactics and disciplined troops. This victory was so important that it opened the doors for more conquests. After Jaxartes, Genghis Khan's army went on to lay siege to cities like Nishapur and even captured the capital of the Khwarezmian Empire, Samarkand. Another important battle was fought at the Khalkha River in 1223. Despite facing enemies who outnumbered them, the Mongol forces used their speed and teamwork to win the fight against the Kievan Rus and their allies. The win at Khalkha River spread fear among neighboring lands and showed that Genghis Khan's army was a force to be reckoned with.
The name Genghis Khan still evokes a lot of fear.
Genghis Khan was not just a conqueror on the battlefield. He was also a ruler who cared about how people lived under his rule. One of the most interesting aspects of his leadership was his policy of religious freedom. While many rulers of his time forced their beliefs on others, Genghis Khan allowed people within his empire to follow their own religions. This open-minded approach helped create a sense of unity among his subjects. People were not forced to give up their traditions, and they could live and worship as they pleased, which made it easier for diverse groups to live together under one rule.
Genghis Khan's followers believe the world is ready now, that humanity's thinking has evolved.
A multicultural empire. Genghis Khan was not only a fierce warrior, but also a wise leader who built one of the largest empires in history. His empire was a melting pot of different cultures, languages, and traditions.
The secret history of the Mongols is the only Mongol source contemporary to the events described.
By welcoming experts from many lands, he created a system that allowed ideas and knowledge to flow freely. This openness set the stage for new inventions and improvements in many fields, a legacy that still influences us today. Genghis Khan understood that strength did not come solely from battles and warriors. He saw the value of including skilled people from the lands he conquered. In his administration, merit was more important than birth or background. The best and brightest were given key roles in government, regardless of where they came from. This merit-based system helped him manage a vast empire with speed and efficiency. People from different cultures brought their own ways of thinking and working, and this mix made the empire a lively center of learning and innovation. One important part of his rule was his focus on knowledge. Genghis Khan invited scholars, engineers, and artisans from far and wide to help improve his empire.
And they would bring the people in to their army who were able to build those machines, were able to teach them.
This was unusual at the time and led to many new ideas and inventions. For example, new farming techniques, better tools, and improved methods of trade spread across his lands. His policies showed that everyone had something valuable to share, and this spirit of collaboration made the Mongol Empire a place where knowledge was shared freely. A striking example of his openness was his relationship with the Islamic world. Even though he was not a Muslim, Genghis Khan respected the great achievements of Islamic civilization. The Muslim world had a rich tradition of science, art, and learning. Recognizing this, he set up friendly relations with Muslim leaders and scholars. He even brought Muslim advisors into his court to help with trade, governance, and administration. This connection not only enriched his empire, but also helped spread Islamic ideas to other regions.
And so they would constantly either intervene themselves or they would use other tribal groups.
The links he formed allowed new technologies and ways of thinking to travel along the trade routes that crisscrossed his empire. Genghis Khan also understood the importance of strong communication. He built a network of roads and a system of messengers, known as the Yam system, that connected his far-flung territories. This system allowed messages to travel quickly, linking people from many different lands. It was much like a very early version of modern postal services, and helped traders and messengers move efficiently across his empire. Such innovations show that Genghis Khan was ahead of his time in both administration and technology. Yet, the story of Genghis Khan is not only one of great achievements. His life ended in a cloud of mystery and legend. In the winter of 1226 to 1227, he fell from his horse while hunting. After this accident, he became very ill. Some of his sons and commanders advised him to end his military campaigns and return to Mongolia to recover, believing that the enemy would wait. But Genghis Khan, known for his fierce pride and determination, pushed on with his siege of Zhongxing despite the risks. In August 1227, either on the 18th or the 25th, he died. His death was kept secret for a while, and while Zhongxing fell soon after, the city was brutally sacked, and its people suffered greatly. After his death, Genghis Khan's body was taken back to Mongolia. He was buried on or near the sacred Burkhan Khaldun Peak in the Khenti Mountains, a place he had chosen long before. The exact location of his tomb has remained a secret.
The investigation's initial findings are extremely promising, but more evidence is needed to prove that this dome is Genghis Khan's tomb.
The mountain is so revered that it was declared a great taboo, and only a small group of guards, the Uriankai, were allowed near it. When his successor, Ogadei, took the throne in 1229, the grave was honored with 3 days of offerings and the sacrifice of 30 maidens. Over time, many theories and rumors about the tomb's location have emerged, adding layers to its mystery. This hidden tomb has sparked the curiosity of many modern figures, including podcast host Joe Rogan. Rogan finds the mystery of Genghis Khan's burial site fascinating, suggesting that uncovering its secrets could influence how countries view history and relate to one another. The idea that a man who united so many diverse cultures might have left behind hidden treasures and lost knowledge continues to spark debate and interest around the world. The eternal mystery. Genghis Khan's tomb is a mystery that has captured people's hearts and minds for centuries. The great Mongol leader, who changed the world through his conquests, is not only remembered for his power, but also for the secret way his final resting place was hidden. This secret has turned his tomb into one of history's most exciting puzzles.
The question of what would happen if the tomb were ever discovered and the remains were actually uncovered may have to do with legends.
The story goes that Genghis Khan did not want his tomb to be found. He ordered that his burial place remain hidden, and the people who helped bury him were told to keep the secret at any cost, even if it meant losing their lives. Over the years, many tales have grown around his tomb. Some stories say that rivers were forced to flow over the grave, while others claim that wild horses were let loose to cover any signs of the burial site. These colorful legends have made the tomb even more mysterious and fascinating. Historians and archaeologists have spent many years trying to uncover the truth behind these stories. They have looked at old texts and maps, and they have even used modern tools like satellite images to search the vast lands of Mongolia. One of the most interesting clues comes from local legends. Many locals believe that a sacred mountain called Burkhan Khaldun in northeastern Mongolia might be near the hidden tomb. This mountain, wrapped in its own set of myths, has long been thought of as a guardian of the secret resting place. At the same time, the hunt for Genghis Khan's tomb is more than just a search for hidden treasure. For many people in Mongolia, the tomb is a symbol of their national pride. Genghis Khan is seen as a hero who built a great empire, and his resting place is treated with deep respect.
To find the tomb of Genghis Khan, which was dug 1,500 years later.
Disturbing the site is considered both a violation of sacred tradition and a disrespect to the memory of the great leader. This makes the search even more challenging because scientists must balance their desire to learn more with the need to respect local customs and beliefs. Despite the many efforts to find the tomb, every attempt so far has ended in disappointment. The mystery remains, and each failed expedition only makes the legend grow stronger. This endless chase shows how much people are drawn to the unknown. It is not just about the treasure or the artifacts that might lie inside the tomb. It is about the deep human need to solve a great mystery. The quest for Genghis Khan's tomb represents our desire to connect with the past and understand the secrets of history. In recent times, the idea that technology could finally solve this age-old mystery has grown. With new tools that can look at the earth from above and read clues hidden in the landscape, many believe that the day might come when the tomb is finally found. This new wave of scientific research is seen by some as brave and bold, while others worry that it might disturb a sacred resting place. Either way, the hunt continues, driven by a mix of curiosity, national pride, and a deep respect for history. The importance of Genghis Khan's tomb lies in its blend of legend, history, and mystery. It is a place that holds the secrets of a man who once ruled a vast empire. His choice to hide his final resting place has led to countless stories and wild adventures, each adding a layer to the legend. Whether or not the tomb is ever found, the search itself tells us much about our love for history and our passion for solving puzzles that connect us to our past. A discovery that defies history. Deep in the remote wilds near Mongolia's Burkhan Khaldun mountain, a team of archaeologists faced a series of unexpected challenges.
The team has to finish taking measurements as quickly as possible, so as not to risk getting caught.
As they worked to unearth a tomb that many believe could be the final resting place of the legendary Genghis Khan. What began as a study of ancient climate patterns quickly turned into a race against time, nature, and mystery, as the team uncovered clues that pointed to a long-hidden secret.
But he secretly has a far more ambitious goal: to find the tomb of Genghis Khan.
Their journey was filled with hurdles, logistical, technical, cultural, and even scientific, that tested both their skills and their resolve. The first major challenge was the location itself. The site lay in a rugged and isolated region where modern roads and amenities were nearly absent. The harsh weather and unpredictable terrain made it hard to move equipment and supplies. Every day, the team had to work under the wide, open sky, battling strong winds and sudden rain showers. The remote setting meant that getting help or replacement parts for specialized tools was a slow and uncertain process. In such an unforgiving landscape, every task became more complicated, and every delay had the potential to disrupt the delicate work of uncovering history. Using modern technology was essential in this tough environment, yet it brought its own set of obstacles. Ground-penetrating radar was used to map what lay beneath the earth, while high-tech metal detectors helped locate hidden artifacts. Drones with high-resolution cameras provided breathtaking views of the area.
This region with whatever tools we could find. We used cameras on our drones and we created this 3D photogrammetry map of our surface.
But even these advanced tools were sometimes hampered by the extreme conditions. The rugged terrain caused interference in the radar signals, and the drones occasionally struggled with strong gusts of wind. Despite the impressive technology at hand, the team had to constantly adapt their methods to deal with equipment glitches and unpredictable natural forces. As the archaeologists dug deeper, they found that the tomb was not just a simple grave, but a complex structure adorned with carvings and symbols that hinted at a grand past. Deciphering the ancient Mongol script on the inscriptions proved to be another major challenge. Linguists and historians had to work together to try to unlock the meaning behind these marks, a task that was complicated by the sheer age of the carvings and the possibility of lost languages. The symbols were a mix of familiar motifs and puzzling designs, leaving experts wondering if they held secrets about rituals or even lost technologies. Every discovery raised more questions than answers, turning the excavation into a thrilling puzzle with pieces scattered across time. At the heart of the challenge was the need to respect Mongolia's rich cultural heritage. The tomb was seen not only as an archaeological site, but also as a sacred part of the nation's identity. The Mongolian government was closely involved, ensuring that every step of the excavation honored traditional values and local customs. This meant that the team could not rush their work or ignore the opinions of local elders and officials. Ethical questions loomed large. Was it right to disturb a site so deeply connected to the spirit of Mongolia? Balancing scientific curiosity with cultural respect was a delicate dance, one that required constant discussion and careful decision-making. Inside the tomb, the surprises kept coming. Among the treasures were objects of extraordinary beauty, gem-encrusted swords, finely crafted armor, and ancient scrolls that had miraculously withstood the test of time. But not everything matched the expectations of the 13th century. Some artifacts were made of materials and components that seemed far ahead of their time, small devices with unknown purposes and mechanical parts that did not fit the typical profile of medieval craftsmanship left researchers scratching their heads.
They were telling me that the history was still alive, the artifact was in the experience.
These anachronistic finds hinted at a level of sophistication that was both exciting and unsettling. How could objects from a time long past show signs of technology that modern minds still find hard to explain? The mystery deepened further when scientists took samples for DNA analysis. The genetic material extracted from the remains in the tomb did not match any known lineages. This unexpected result brought a new layer of complexity to the excavation. The unusual genetic markers led to heated debates among experts, suggesting that the person buried here, if it truly was Genghis Khan, might have had a lineage that defied conventional understanding.
This tribe that had been put in place by Genghis Khan himself.
The DNA findings, along with the strange artifacts, opened the door to wild speculations about lost histories and secret knowledge. Every step of the excavation came with the risk of disturbing the fragile balance of a site that had lain undisturbed for centuries. The team was very careful as they broke through seals and moved ancient objects, knowing that one wrong move could lead to irreversible damage. The atmosphere around the dig site was tense. Every crack in the stone or slip of the hand was a reminder of the care required to preserve history. In addition to the physical risks, the archaeologists had to manage the ever-present pressure of the global spotlight. News of the discovery spread quickly, and with it came intense scrutiny from the media, historians, and the public. The world was watching, and every decision made on site was a lesson in balancing scientific ambition with the respect that such a remarkable find demanded. Joe Rogan and the Lost Tomb. Joe Rogan is known for his lively podcast, where he talks about everything from fitness to the mysteries of the universe. Recently, he took his curiosity on a new adventure, exploring the secrets of Genghis Khan's tomb. Genghis Khan was a famous leader of Mongolia who ruled a vast empire and left behind a legacy that is both admired and questioned.
500 and 800 years old. Genghis Khan died in 1227, about 800 years ago.
The discovery of his tomb brought many surprising facts to light and sparked debates around the world. At first, Joe was struck by the number of lives that had been affected by Genghis Khan's rule. The Mongolian leader was known for his fierce battles and the heavy toll his wars took on many people. But the findings from the tomb went far beyond simple numbers. They hinted at a deeper story about history, culture, and how we see the past today. The discoveries raised many questions about what we know of this famous leader and his impact on the world. In Mongolia, Genghis Khan is more than just a name in history. His picture appears on banknotes, statues, and even government buildings. For many people in Mongolia, he stands as a symbol of pride and unity. His legacy is woven into the very fabric of the nation. However, the new findings from his tomb have stirred up a mix of feelings. Some believe these discoveries will only add to his legendary status, while others fear that the new facts might lead to heated debates about how his story should be told. Mongolian leaders now find themselves in a tough spot. They must balance the new scientific breakthroughs with a desire to keep a united national story. This situation has sparked conversations around the world. Experts in science, history, and politics are all talking about it. They stress that it is important to protect cultural heritage while also learning new things from the past. Some worry that the fight over the tomb's secrets might reopen old wounds about colonialism and unfair treatment in history. The impact of the tomb's discovery goes far beyond history and culture. It has also changed how countries interact on the world stage. Young people who once learned about Genghis Khan only in their textbooks are now joining the debate. Social media has exploded with memes, blog posts, and protests, all showing different opinions on what the discoveries mean. The tomb has turned into a symbol that represents the many layers of history and identity. It reminds us that the past is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. The unearthing of the tomb has even drawn the attention of world leaders and experts. Diplomats, scientists, and high-ranking officials are now traveling to Mongolia to study the findings. Countries that once paid little attention to this remote nation now see it as an important part of global history. Neighbors like China and Russia are especially focused on the discoveries, given their long and complicated histories with Mongolia. Even leaders from the United States and the European Union are keen to learn more about the tomb and its many secrets. In this way, a ruler from the 13th century is playing a surprising role in today's global politics. A legacy in question. The discovery of Genghis Khan's tomb has sparked a wave of ethical and political questions. At its heart, many people ask who should have the right to study these mysterious artifacts. Some believe that the secrets hidden in the tomb belong to all of humanity, while others insist that they must be protected as part of a sacred heritage. One question in particular stands out. Should the DNA of a figure like Genghis Khan be mapped and made public? This challenge forces us to consider whether scientific progress should come at the cost of personal and national privacy. International organizations, including the United Nations and UNESCO, have joined the debate. They argue that the tomb should be recognized as a World Heritage Site, ensuring that its treasures and stories are preserved for future generations. By giving the site this status, the world would share responsibility for its care. However, the idea raises other issues, such as cultural appropriation and historical accuracy. Who gets to decide the real story behind such a powerful figure? And who will shape the new version of history as more secrets come to light? The impact of this discovery is felt far beyond academic circles. Much like the excitement and unity sparked by the moon landing in 1969, the tomb's unveiling has captured the imagination of people across the globe. It has forced nations and individuals alike to look at their own beliefs and to question what they know about the past. The mystery of the tomb reminds us that history is not fixed. It is always open to new interpretations and insights. Within this heated discussion, the scientific community sees great promise. Many researchers argue that decoding the DNA from the tomb could lead to a better understanding of human evolution and cultural connections. Yet, many Mongolians view Genghis Khan's genetic material as an intimate part of their identity. They feel that his legacy should remain undisturbed, a private treasure that belongs solely to his people.
And it is important, I think, to realize that in Mongol folklore, there is a notion that you should be buried somewhere near where you were born.
Public debates and even voices like Joe Rogan's have explored these complex issues, weighing the benefits of scientific discovery against the need to honor national heritage. In the end, this unfolding story challenges us to rethink who truly holds the key to our shared past. This debate shows that every new discovery is more than facts. It is a call to respect history, honor cultures, and fuel our wonder. The Lord's Enclosure. Deep in the vast lands of Inner Mongolia lies a special site known as the Mausoleum of Genghis Khan. Though many call it a mausoleum, the local people prefer to call it the Lord's Enclosure. This name tells us much about the respect that Mongols have for the great leader. They honor Genghis Khan not only as a warrior and ruler, but also as an ancestor, the founder of a proud dynasty, and even as a divine figure. The story of this place is both simple and moving. The site does not hold the actual body of Genghis Khan. Instead, it houses a cenotaph, a symbolic tomb that carries a coffin filled with only a few headdresses and other small items. The real tomb of Genghis Khan remains a mystery, hidden somewhere in history and lost to time. Yet, the spirit of his legacy lives on in the hearts of many who visit.
Genghis Khan spent most of his life striving to unite the nomadic Mongol tribes.
The mausoleum is set in the peaceful Kandahuo enclosure, a part of the town of Shinji in the Ajin Horo Banner, within the city of Ordos in Inner Mongolia, China. It was built in the traditional Mongol style between 1954 and 1956 by the government of the People's Republic of China. This careful construction was meant to honor the great leader while keeping true to the cultural traditions of the Mongol people. However, the journey of this revered site was not without hardship. During the Cultural Revolution, the mausoleum suffered greatly. It was desecrated, and many of its relics were destroyed. The damage was a deep wound to the heritage that it represented. Yet, in the 1980s, efforts were made to restore the site. Skilled workers and dedicated caretakers rebuilt it with careful replicas of the lost relics. Today, the restored mausoleum stands as a proud center for the worship of Genghis Khan. The cenotaph sits high on the Gandeli, or Gandair Prairie, at an elevation of 1,350 meters above sea level. Its location adds to its beauty and significance. It is about 15 kilometers southeast of a small town called Zilian, and roughly 30 kilometers south of the county seat of the Ajin Horo Banner. The wider region is well connected, with the site lying 115 kilometers north of Yulin, 55 kilometers south of Dongsheng, and 185 kilometers from the bustling city of Baotou. A new interchange on Highway 210 now leads directly to the mausoleum, inviting travelers from near and far. In 2011, the Mausoleum of Genghis Khan received an AAAAA rating from China's National Tourism Administration, a mark of the highest quality for tourist attractions. This honor highlights the mausoleum's unique blend of history, culture, and modern restoration. Today, the Lord's Enclosure continues to draw visitors who come to pay tribute, learn about the past, and feel the enduring spirit of one of history's greatest figures. So, should history's greatest conqueror remain a mystery, or do we have the right to uncover his secrets?